What is happening, Vape fam? This is Joe of All Vapes coming at you. Where in the heck did I go, right? Where have I been? You're like, man, Joe, what is going on? No new reviews, no new giveaways or anything like that. Never fear, folks. Life had to take priority. All that stuff that we always stick on the back burner that we really want to do, they're not there because I want them to be there. You know what I mean? I'm a 38-year-old father and a husband with a day job. And unfortunately, I do this for fun. You know what I mean? But hey, I've made a lot of great friends doing this, got some solid sponsors like Elixir Vape Co., a bunch of other people that I love and they love me and great representatives. So a lot of reviews coming up, 2 or 3 this week. I've also got some giveaways going on once again after the August 8th issue happened. I mean, everything just kind of went haywire, you know what I mean? And a lot of companies got dumped and you know, professional issues here and there, but everything is kind of mainlined. You know, we're streamlining stuff nowadays, and I'm loving it. You know, I mean, it's a little bit slower of a pace than I'm used to, but I've got a lot more time to be able to do the things that I need to do, so I can do the things I want to do. You know what I'm saying? But the first company we're talking about after quite some time is Velvet Cloud. These guys are out of San Francisco, California. A lot of great e-juices out of Cali. Now, all 7 of these bottles here from their line. Max super high VG, so clouds for days, you know what I'm saying? All the labels are hand crafted artwork. You know, it's really cool artwork on these. You know, just kind of fun and inventive, just, you know, super chill. But I really like the aspect of that personal touch to it, you know, especially if the juice is quality, which this stuff really is. So we're going to get right into what I'm going to do is just basically give you the flavor description, and then we're going to get into my personal judgment on each one of the flavors. So Pandemonium is the first one. Pandemonium. It's a white gummy flavor. I don't know if you guys have tried any of the white gummy flavors out there. It's a pretty typical taste, but you know, we'll get into the nitty-gritty of it. Nutty Cookie is the next one. And that one is touted as a sugar cookie, pralines, and macadamia nut combination. So once again, we'll get into that one. Whitebeard from Velvet Cloud, butterscotch custard and tobacco. Heady stuff. Real thick, real rich, real dense. If any of you guys like that, you're going to love that. Night Shift is their next one, and that is basically a smooth, deep, rich coffee flavor, you know, with a chocolate-covered donut. The blend between the two is super unique. So if you like coffee flavors and you like your donuts, mingle the two together. If you've never mixed juices like that, they made it for you, man. Harvest Berry is the next flavor. And this one is strawberry, blueberry, and raspberry. So pretty much a palate cleanser on that. Not too hard to figure out. Vanilla Custard is the next flavor. Straight up as it gets, you know what I mean? I couldn't describe it any more than the name of it. But Straub Guab is the last and final flavor on this one, and that one is a strawberry and guava taste. So we're taking traditional, we're taking tropical and unique. It's an interesting blend. So we're gonna get into my rating system towards the end here, and then we're just gonna, you know, before that we're gonna talk about my assessment as per usual, you know what I mean? Nutty Cookie is the first one we're going to kind of dig into. So this one was a little bit of a unique flavor. And once again, that was the sugar cookie praline and macadamia nut flavor. I hate cheat sheets, man, but you know what? My memory isn't as good as it used to be. This one came across as sort of like a dry flavor to me, and I don't quite know how to explain that. It was just kind of like a good dry red wine taste, kind of has that dry flavor to it. Came across just a little bit on that end. A little bit of a biscotti flavor to it, kind of an almond biscotti. I appreciated that because I love almond. You get kind of that toasty flavor with it, you know, just coming from that kind of a solid, dark, rich cookie taste to it. Overall, very savory in flavor, but still sweet enough to kind of keep things moving. So it's a deep, rich, nutty cookie, very earthy, but you can still taste, you know, just a little bit of that kind of caramelized, nutty, maybe a little bit of brown butter going on in there. So it was very good. The hazelnut were very present in it. A very light praline taste to it. So, you know, it might take a little bit of a ding for me on the profile. The consistency was fairly solid because all the flavors were there. But you know, I'm real nitpicky on profile. I mean, it just barely made it in for the pralines. But the hazelnut and the macadamia nuts were very light, but they were present. So I'm going to give it pretty much an A for effort. You know what I mean? The night shift, once again, that's the deep, rich flavor of that dark chocolate glazed donut mixed with just a good hot black cup of Joe. This one was very rich, very heady flavored, solid, even blend. The dark chocolate flavor comes through really, really solidly. You're definitely not going to miss that. Sugary flavor coming from the donut, little cakey, little sweet, very, very light, buttery flavor almost, but extremely unique. The one thing that I will say about the night shift is I did like the flavor, definitely appreciated it, but um, after a while of vaping it, you sort of lost the sense of individual characteristics. So I sort of had to remember, oh, okay, I'm vaping a dark chocolate, glazed donut dipped in, black hot coffee. Basically to be able to separate the two flavors on my tongue. So one didn't really supersede the other, and I think for me, I would have liked just a little bit of supersedence from one of the flavors just to kind of raise it up, maybe separate the two. But like I said, it's an incredibly even blend. If you go into it with just kind of the knowledge that, okay, this is what I'm vaping, you're always pretty much going to have it spot on. It was tasty, a little bit deeper and a little bit on the bitter end because of that black coffee flavor. So I mean, they got it down pat. If that's your thing, coffee, donuts, give it a shot. I think you guys are going to dig it. The Straub Guab is the next one. Sweet and solid strawberry guava taste. Once again, just kind of a little bit on the dry flavor for whatever reason. I think it's just an extract issue, basically, that they're working with. Now, it doesn't take away from the overall consistency and flavor of it. Actually, the profile and the consistency was straight spot on. Strawberry I picked up immediately, but after a while, you sort of pick up that exotic taste. Boom, that's the guava hitting you. So it was a very even blend, contrasting each other just enough from something kind of tropical. And then again, you've got something fairly traditional and familiar from that strawberry. Sweet enough, definitely, but not overly sweet. That's why I don't give pretty much any of these a sweet factor of anything, higher than 4. And, I work from, 1 to 5. So, it was a good refresher. Would have liked it just a tad sweeter, kind of like more candy-esque. But on the other hand, I sort of appreciated that it wasn't, because it separates it from every other Jolly Rancher flavor that, is getting shoved in your face from time to time. You know what I mean? So moving on, Pandemonium was the next flavor. And I have tried white gummy flavored vapes before, never super impressed me. This stuff was actually pretty damn good. And from what I understand, I think it was a limited flavor. I'm not even quite sure if they're still advertising this one on their website, but it was very, very tasty. So, just a very solid white gummy flavor. Once again, low on the sweet factor, kind of like the straw guab. I don't know whether that was a pro or a con in my opinion, because the profile and the consistency were there. What was on the label is definitely, in the description was definitely in the bottle. And, there were no flavor layers because it's just one flavor. So obviously the consistency is going to get a 5 out of 5. No throat hit on this stuff, virtually none at all, maybe a 1 to a 2. And of course, clouds for days, because this is a super high ultra VG. So the flavor was solid. And the fact that all of these flavors are super high VG should pretty much point out that, okay, so the sweet factor is going to be a little bit lower, because typically PG is a better flavor carrier, but quality and consistency are still there. So definitely going to give them that one. Whitebeard is the next one, and this one was the butterscotch tobacco with a little bit of custard going on right there. This stuff was pretty interesting as far as just blend-in mixology. So the one thing I will say is that the tobacco flavor was fairly light in taste. And when I go into a tobacco vape, my mind is pretty much already wrapped around it. That's that deep, heady, rich flavor that I'm really going to dig. It just wasn't as heavy as I would have wanted it to be. I mean, that's not necessarily a downer, but I would have liked to see it just a little bit heavier as far as complementary is concerned. However, The custard was definitely present. The butterscotch was just a little bit low for my flavor. Um, I think basically what they're trying to do here is work with the high VG as best as possible. Now there are a great deal of flavor producers out on the market. You can buy the extracts, you can buy the concentrates and whatnot and stuff like that. So it leads you to wonder, really going into the mixologist's mind, what is it that they're looking for? Are they looking to make the sweet factor stand out more than the cloud production, or are they looking for something that's going to give a low throat hit with a more quality nicotine extract? So they have to sacrifice maybe one and add a little PG here and there, and stuff like that. There really is a lot to consider, and as far as the recipe is concerned. Now, overall, I'll definitely give it, some solid props because the flavor was there. Okay, it was present. However, as far as consistency was concerned, yeah, I could taste the layers, but it was just a little bit light for me. I mean, all the flavor was just a little bit light. Butterscotch was almost non-existent for my taste buds, at least. The custard, however, was there. It was fairly sweet and it was fairly present. The tobacco flavor, super, super, super light. So not overwhelming. If you guys like a very light tobacco taste, but you still dig the tobacco vapes, totally get you and understand you. I love them too. This stuff was just a little bit too light for me. Definitely not a con because the quality was present. So that's why none of these are going real low on the consistency or the profile levels for me. So the harvest berry is second to last going on in this one. Not much to say about this negative, especially. This was true to profile and fairly sweet. In fact, this one was probably the sweetest one out of the entire bunch. A lot of savory flavors that we're working with here, save like the pandemonium and the straw guava. But it was a nice blend of berries. So you got blueberry, strawberry, and raspberry in there. Got the tart, got the sweet going on here, kind of the mainline stay with some of the blueberry. Just a good blend. It couldn't really taste one over the other. Everything was mixed fairly solidly and well balanced. Like I said, the sweetest one out of the bunch. So excellent palate cleanser on that one. I'm not a huge berry vape fan, but every now and then, if I'm not vaping on, something sweet, tropical, fruity berry or something like that, or menthol and mint, just to cleanse the palate, my taste buds pretty much go dead. So this is good stuff just to kind of mix it up. Last but not least is the vanilla custard. Sweet and rich, but light in flavor once again. Now I will give it definite props because it was sweeter than most of their flavors, especially considering that it's a custard blend. What definitely wasn't sweeter than the harvest berry, but it had its own mixology going on there. It was working and moving and grooving and doing its own thing. But every brand, in my opinion, has to come out with a tried and true flavor. I mean, vanilla custard is about as tried and true and simple as it gets. Whether or not a company can make a good solid flavor out of it is pretty much up to them. But we've tried so many of these before in the past, right? As long as they can come out with something solid, it's just given us, one more place that we can spend a little bit of hard-earned vape cash on. So let's kind of push all of these together into, our rating scale here. Of course, the sweet, got to give it a 4 across the board. Even the sweetest one was just delicately putting a toe or so over the line of 3, and it just really didn't hit a height of 5 as far as the sweet is concerned, which is good. I don't like anything overly sweet, but every now and then I like something just to shock my tongue, but definitely not a downer. The cloud production, massive, massive 5, obviously. As I don't know if you guys saw my last hit here. Solid clouds, okay? So super high VG is pretty much how they tout this stuff. I'm hitting up the pandemonium right now. Tasty, and I like that huge cloud. I don't have a big lung capacity, so for me, finding a good vape, with a high VG that still tastes good, I'll hit that up. Throat presence, a throat hit was maybe anywhere between a 1 and a 2. So very, very light. And I had to kind of dig just to find it to, go over the 1 left, to go over the 1 to get to the 2. But it was, it just was what it was. It was a little bit present. I like a little bit of a throat hit, and I think a lot of people do too, especially former smokers like me, you know, they like to be reminded of just something. I don't know. Maybe it's like the bad boy factor. I don't get it, but it is what it is. But consistency and profile both, I'm going to give a 5 out of 5. Now, I know that I said that certain consistencies and profiles of some of the other ones were just kind of, you know, but on an overall average, I think this stuff deserves a 5 out of 5 on the consistency and profile, because more of these tasted really on par and just, you know, pat and down to the point, you know what I mean? So they deserve the glory for that. So Velvet Cloud, thank you very, very much. I encourage all you guys out there, check this company out. It's San Francisco, California. Really, really solid company. And, you know, I've got some more stuff coming up, and I'm going to be keeping in contact with these guys, you know, just supporting them, and they're supporting me. And I mean, you know, this is how the world works in our vaping community, guys. You know, really love your guys' support as well. So do me a favor, spread the word here, Joe Vol Vapes. If you like what you see and you want others to see it too, check me out on Instagram at Joe of All Vapes. I've got some new giveaways coming up, one with Kendo Vape Cotton, a couple others that I'm not going to talk about. I'm going to let those be surprises. And I'm also going to be making it to the West Coast Vape Expo Saturday, the 5th of November. It's going to be in Lincoln City, Oregon. So if any of my Oregon peeps and my West Coast peeps, you know, I got nothing better to do, you got a little vape cash, got some gas in your car, and got yourself a good mod, bust it down there, man. It's only about 15 bucks a ticket. It's in the Chinook Winds Casino, my old stomping grounds from my old life, bodybuilding. That was actually a side note. That was the first venue for my very first bodybuilding competition. I know, man. I'm hitting lifestyles left and right here. You know what I mean? I get bored easily, but I'm going to stick with this for a while, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and your support is unmentionably wonderful. So this is Joe Vol Vapes coming at you. Your eye still in the vaping sky. Wishing you to stay humble. Love yourselves, love each other, and you keep it cloudy.